If I hear the words Mr. Mouret, sir, one more time, I may scream. But that aside, I really enjoyed The Paradise significantly more than I expected. Now, I will say that I have only seen the first of the two series. I will not be watching the second series, at least not anytime soon, because I feel I've exhausted my need to watch The Paradise. But that's not really the fault of the show, although I do think it could have ended maybe with 6 episodes. I think 8 was really dragging it out. But it still managed to hold my attention, and that for me is why I think this is very good, because I'm not the biggest fan of period dramas, but this worked well. The Paradise was originally released in 2012. It's a BBC show. First series was 8 episodes, the second was 8 episodes as well. And it focuses on this department store called The Paradise. And mainly we follow one person's perspective, but we get to learn about the lives of other individuals as well. And the first thing I like about this is the fact that it's set in the 1870s. It gives us some gorgeous costumes and some pretty interesting dialect. And it also kind of really is very immersive, and this is the thing why I liked it a lot, because it wasn't as dry as I'd expected. I find a lot of period dramas just very dry and monotonous and repetitive, but this one, there's just something about it that I can't quite put my finger on that makes it great. And I think, because I don't really care too much about the characters themselves, certainly there are a few that I like, there are a couple that I detest, but I think The Paradise as a department store really is a character of its own. And certainly my favourite scenes were the ones that were in the department store. And I felt like I was there. And it's very effective in that way. The narrative itself, there is a narrative, but it kind of, over each episode, obviously the main focus shifts. There is kind of an overarching story, which I won't go into too much, but you can expect romance and betrayal. It's got all of the hallmarks of a gritty drama. And I think it delivers those very, very well. Our main character is Denise, played by Joanna Vanderham, and she's brilliant. She's absolutely fantastic at this role, and instantly I love her as a character. She is Scottish, me being Scottish, I liked that, and I thought straight away, this is set in England, we have a Scottish protagonist, it's a period drama, that never happens. And then, as it progressed, we have all this mixed bag of different accents. And there are a lot of different people from different walks of life. And again, that makes this quite unique, because most, not all, but most period dramas will have the same kind of RP accent, and there's not much diversity. But this one has somebody from basically everywhere, and it's really, really well done. And I don't know if that was a conscious decision. I assume it was. But it's very effective. And Denise is a character I really like. I really wanted the best for her at all times. I felt like sometimes people were too nasty to her for the sake of it. There are certain characters who don't like her arrival. And that's good. We need that controversy. We need that kind of feistiness in some of the women. But I think sometimes they start to be nice to her and then they just start being nasty again. And I feel like it goes back and forth a bit too much and it gets a bit too repetitive. But for the most part, I think the treatment of her character was really good. Mr. Mouret, sir, you can't just call him Mouret. Great name, love the name, fed up of hearing Mr. Mouret, sir, every third scene. Obviously, it's factually correct, that's what the girls in the department store would call him. But it's just very irritating. He played by Emun Elliott, brilliant. The reason I watched this, and the only reason I gave this period drama a chance, is because of Sarah Lancashire, who I absolutely love, and if she wasn't in this, I probably never would have even heard of it, to be perfectly honest. And she plays Miss Audrey, and she's brilliant in this. I love her accent, she sustains it really well. Not that much of a stretch from her own accent, to be honest. She has some gorgeous costumes. She's a love-to-hate character at times. She's obviously very troubled by her own life, and she takes that out on the girls, and I really like her as a character. I love to hate her, and she's really brilliant. She's got a pretty decent character development as well. The only other character I truly liked was Pauline. and she's played by Ruby Bentall, and I think she's definitely one of my favourite characters, and I would have liked to have seen more of her than Clara. I cannot stand Clara. Nothing wrong with the way she's acted. She's played by Sonya Cassidy. I think the performance there is very good. The character is not well written. She goes back and forth far too much, to the point where it becomes almost farcical. Her attitude to Denise and everybody is just so bipolar at times, and sometimes I think there maybe is something maybe mentally wrong with her, in the sense that she doesn't know how to read situations, and I don't know if that was ever intended, but she just doesn't seem to know how to respond correctly to things. And maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe she's just a bitch. I don't know. But for me, Clara as a character was exceptionally irritating, and I really wish she wasn't in it, because I detested the scenes when she was in it. Again, nothing against the actress, just a really poor character. So why won't I watch the next one? Well, I might. I might watch series 2 at some point. I think it's just the fact that by the end of the 8th episode, bearing in mind each episode is, 50 minutes long, give or take, I thought, I've maybe had enough of this for now, because it does get quite repetitive. The characters do go around in circles a lot. The narrative's not that great, but it's the atmosphere that I like. I love the atmosphere. I really like Denise as a character, and obviously I love Miss Audrey, but the atmosphere is really great and really infectious. But the narrative, at the end, I didn't sit and think, well, I need to know what happens in the next series. So it's kind of got its positives, and it's, I can point the flaws out. So I would definitely recommend it. If I watch the second series, I will discuss that at some point and say how I feel it compares. At the moment, I feel like there were characters in this that I really loved, and characters that I really did not care for. But for the most part, it definitely surpassed any expectations I had. It's one of the very few period dramas that I genuinely got really hooked into quite quickly. And if you haven't seen it, I definitely say it's worth checking out.